Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're literally going to do all our analysis throughout all the currencies for this whole week. So everybody, by the end of this week, should have 10 plus charts, 10 to 20 charts, all with the same lines. So we'll be waiting for the same alerts, same trades. Literally, as what I'm going to say as well is going forward this week, I don't want anybody really looking off the 8-hour charts. Okay, so we're going to look at all the highs, lows. I'm quite disappointed. A few more people should have turned up, but never mind. Right, so if you can see there, Kim, I know G can't talk because he'll wake everybody up. Right, we're going to be looking for the highs and the lows. So this is an 8-hour time frame. So we can see that the market's bottomed out here, can't we?
Yes.
And we can see there's quite a lot of, obviously, real. I'll be honest with you, these are quite nice turns. Well, look at these in the market. Some really, really nice turns. So first thing I'm going to do, the one that's pointing its eye out is this sort of double bottom to me here. God, that's Monday. I can't even talk. Right, so we've got like a sort of a double bottom there. If I'm honest with you, I'm going to just try and move this up, see where it best fits, because at the moment, there's a lot around this sort of area, so that's pretty much good. Can you see what I've done there? Because this didn't look right, I've just moved it up because in that way I'll get all this data. You can see where that big pushback's come from. You've got the resistance here, resistance all the way through there. And then when we slowly go back in time, you can see that it's not actually a bad support area. So what we're going to do is we're just try and create our little zone off of this. So I'm just going to work out what about 15 pips is roughly. So yes, it's quite a tight zone on the 8 hour. Something like that. So we can see here, look, we're getting the lower zone from these bottom wicks. Can you see these loads of little wicks? It's about 35 pips, maybe a little tiny smidgen too big, but I'm not going to start altering charts over 1 or 2 pips, if I'm honest with you. It's irrelevant, really. It's just important we get the structure of the zone in, opposed to obviously the actual exact pips. So there you go. Looks like a bounce, doesn't it, on the euro? Just quickly, because I'm keeping an eye on the British pound as well. I want that to get to about 122 this week, if I'm completely honest. If we can get to 122, I'll be quite happy on it. I'm just moving my chart on my other screen. Right, that's fine. I mean, let's get that. So, bear me 2 seconds. Same thing with multiple screens. Obviously, you got quite a nice setup for you and David, haven't you? So,
yeah.
Right, we're good to go. So that's really my bottom. So not my bottom is obviously the current price. So we can see that the area we're in is actually technically a support. Well, I didn't actually look at the current price. We did it from previous data, so we know that's an area to go off. Right, we zoom out. Look, obviously, what I try and do is the first thing that catches my eye is where I normally go. Next level is this level here. So you can see that we're on a psychological level. We've got really, really nice turning points. And if I do another little zone lower than this, we can probably actually get the next zone in as well, which we have. You can see that we're not too far away from that zone. We've got all these turning points here. We've got one here. But what I'm going to do, looking at going forward, I might just try to see what this zone looks like if I was to push it on the bottom. See, I think that looks better. We're all in agreement that would look better, that top line being on the bottom.
Yeah.
It's almost identifying this price channel here, isn't it? We've got this like price channel going through, so nice. We know that's a nice area. So obviously we've got the one above us, we've got the one that we're currently in, so we need to find the one that's lower than us. Biggest turning point at the moment to me is this area here. So we've got a turning point there, we've got it there. And obviously there's not a lot really. The euro is not too bad, but if this was the British pound, we wouldn't really have a lot more to go off, would we? See, with miles, we've really dropped on both, haven't we? It's, right, that's fine, that one. So I'm going to zoom in. Right, there we are. So we're going to try and identify this current price now. So there we go. Let's make our little zone up. I'm going to colour code all these a bit later on. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. Everyone happy with the zones we got?
Yeah.
So I'm just zooming out. I know this looks like scribble, but you can all we're trying to do is just identify the turning points. So pretty much we know that the market, every time we're in this area, it's overall, even if it breaks through, it's turning, isn't it? And obviously here it's holding up the price as well. So at the moment, this can only either bounce or drop. But if we get some nice indecision price action, I would say this would be going up, which is, and the overall's up to the next zone is potentially a 380 odd pip movement. So I don't think there's 380 pips in this market at the moment, if I'm completely honest. I think next couple of weeks we've really got to short trade. Really got to sort of take really short sort of timed positions, that sort of thing. So, right. Hardest bit of doing this, guys, as well, is trying to get your screen in the right focus. So you haven't, you can sort of see the price quite well, but you don't have to keep going back, forth. So at the moment we're quite lucky because there's nothing really at this sort of price level. So the next zone I can see is here. We've got a turn, we've got a turn, we've got a turn, and then we've got all this through here. So that, to me, that's, if we was to draw a zone through there, we'd almost catch all of that, wouldn't we? Yeah, so that's what we're exactly going to do. We're going to just go, right, just look where it gets good at the moment. So something like that. We know that if we catch bottom, and then we catch one in the top. There you go. There's the zone. So I know a few people last week asked me about the zones. Some of their zones look too close together. When you get markets like the pound and the euro is at the moment, you are going to get zones that are close together, purely for the fact that the market's not really doing anything, is it? If you look at this current price, it's just going up, down, up and down, up. It's just going sideways. And obviously before we drop down. So don't be too disheartened about if your zones aren't, like I said, they're too close together at the moment. So, right, and the next one, this is a hard one. Kim, do you want to annotate on the screen where you think the last zone is? Just a clue, we're looking for one in this sort of area.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not too far off is what I was looking at. I just want to show you what I was looking at on this, right? I've identified this swing here. Yeah. But also we were losing a bit of data here. So I'm just trying to get in between. Probably something like that. Just because obviously this data here, we can get all of this. There you go. We've caught all that in as well. So now when we visually look at this screen, right? Can you see that almost every time the price has been battered the opposite direction, it is touching the support or resistance? Almost every time. Oh, we're not there. We've overbusted it a little bit. But if you were looking at that as just a zoomed out screen, almost every part of the price is accounted for, isn't it? Just every single bit. Look, you can see channel when it breaks through, it goes up to that channel. Yeah, we're going to get some smaller time frame turnarounds, but if we put all them in, we'd have every single candle as a line. So we're not going to do that. And then just to put a little roof in on it, I would say that we can stick the roof in exactly there. This is an important one because look, can you see where that was almost price perfect, that turnaround, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So you can see the actual price before on this red candle where it opened and dropped, the exact same price. So if you want to write down now 1.16132, okay, this will be an alert level. So we're going to turn this right to orange, and straight away I'm going to do is where my spelling's absolutely shocking, right? Potential turnaround price, right? Great, and that is going to stay there forever now till it hits. Because I know for a fact, doing this analysis now, in several weeks' time, if the price does retrace up to this level, or could even be this week, could be next year, it doesn't matter. If I don't mark this in as an alert now while I'm doing my analysis, that is probably going to get forgotten about. Yeah. Yeah, we could even put in a potential little zone on that. Yeah. So we know that's a potential bottom, well, a top of the ranging market at the moment. You can see the market's going up to this point, back down to this point, back up to this point. So, Kim, on an 8-hour chart, what would you say this market is doing? Is it trending? Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it going sideways?
Sideways.
It's completely going sideways, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Smaller time frames are trending. Like we know that previous weeks, 3 weeks is probably going down because you can see that the last 3 weeks we've had lower highs. Yeah. But look at there, look. We haven't made a lower low. So this is another indicator that this last couple of weeks have gone from downtrend to ranging. Yeah. So if we've done this for the top line, what are we going to do on this one? Any ideas?
Another alert one.
Yeah. So potential long price. So there you go. So I've created that now as an alert. Over creates, and I'm just going to paint these orange. Why do you think I've done these two different colours? Anyone got any ideas? Why these are different colours? Reason is, guys, these are the ceiling and floor of my little ranging channel, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's easy. We know that we need to find trend lines, right? Obviously, the market's ranging, so we could literally be right. We could obviously now be looking for trend lines. So we could say, right, if we was to draw a trend line on here, we could see, look, we've got a touch, we've got a touch. We can see it now that that trend is broken. See the trend's broke? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So you can see from an overall, phase one, phase two, phase one, phase two. Obviously, we haven't got a turnaround, so that would be the phase one. Then obviously we've got phase two. Phase one's failed because obviously we've got head and shoulders. Yeah? And then obviously we've broke back through the market. So knowing that, we could put this line on and say that this trend has broken. So now you could draw a downwards trend line. Yeah? Phase one. So there you go. Identify our support as a double bottom as well. So the next move is broke down to the previous double bottom. Yeah? Which has turned the price. Yep, so can you see now, by just doing a few simple lines with our support and resistance, you can really govern direction on which way to potentially trade. So regardless if our mindset's going, right, we need to go long or short, yeah? It's quite easy to determine direction because the actual price is physically telling us, isn't it? Yeah, so we know that if this drops through to this level here, we've got a point, depending on price action, through here where price has been heavily turned many times. Yeah? Okay, so I was just drawing a few lines in, guys. Not for like saying, oh, I'm going to take trend line breaks, I'm going to take bounces. It's so you can see in yourself, right, where trends have broken. Yeah? So can you see the channel we've got? From this previous trend line, guys, to this previous trend line, can you see the reverse channel? So what a lot of people do is get price doing this, yeah? And they go, right, I'm going to draw a channel on this, right? Can you all see that? What you'll very rarely see me doing, guys, is going, oh, look, the price is in a channel, yeah? You very rarely see me doing that. The reason is the channels are created by trends. So you can see from this previous uptrend, okay, and this uptrend, this is the channel here. Yeah? So if the price was to now break up into this zone, it would probably continue in this channel. Kim or G, do you do your channels, buddy? Do you draw them on the price or do you do them with trends like this? Yeah, so I haven't actually drawn it on this middle price. I've actually just drawn it on the two trends. Yeah. And same with this one. If we was to go right, we could almost get a trend line there. Right, we would know that you can see that the trend's starting to range because it's going flat, which is all obviously price divergence as well. Let me just have a look at G's message quick. Sorry, G. It's too early for these long words. Yeah. What I'm going to say, and this is a thing that I'll keep coming across day in, day out, right, is a lot of traders, new traders, even experienced traders, right? And this is a God's given rule, okay? You look for a trade. So I know G can't speak, but Kim, if you was looking at a chart and your head goes, this is going up, right? No matter what the price happens, your head will be telling you that it's going up, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. But what you've got to do is be completely neutral in your trades. Be completely neutral. And the idea of doing correct analysis is it's your analysis that tells you whether it's going up or down. So as a trader, you've got to be a robot saying, I'm not taking anybody's side. I'm not taking the long side nor the short side. But my charts will tell me which side to go for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm going to say, G, I don't know if you can hear me all right. Just a quick observation of your message. Obviously, you've put long to next zone, then a breakdown seems feasible, I do on price. That to me is like you're already looking for a trade direction, a trade size. Yeah. So you're going, right, well, what I'm doing, I'm going to wait for it to go up and break down. That is automatically in your head, you're going to be programmed to do that. So whatever happens now, that your little scenario is what will be playing in your head. So regardless of how good your analysis is, you probably will never stick to your analysis. I've seen some of the best traders with the best charts not trade off their own charts. Their head overtakes their charts, their analysis. And it's called price action, not head action, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I honestly say that I really, really struggled doing that. It took me flipping years to do that that sort of analysis, to say, right, my charts are going to take over my trading, let alone my head, if that makes sense. Yeah? Because I used to go, right, it's going up, and then whatever, all my analysis would be directed on that price going up. Have any of you realised you've done that previous, or?
Yeah.
It happens. It does happen, 100%. I just like the obviously trying to get you guys into routine, so you're not sort of taking anyone's side. Yeah, I had a chat with a trader that a lot of people lose money trading because they obviously what's the correct term to use? You've got too much faith in your own currency. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So morning, Peter. How's it going? Don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah,
Good.
no, cool. Just I don't know how much of this session you caught, buddy. I'm just showing we've done our analysis on the euro US dollar, and then we've put an alert in for the high and the low of the price container, so where the market's ranging from its highest point to its lowest point, which is obviously our next potential big buys and big sells.
Okay.
You can see there that is a huge 1,000 pip range, and it's almost 1,000 pips to the pip, the range, which is quite a big figure to be rounded off on, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's on the 8-hour chart, yeah?
On the 8-hour chart, yeah. I'm going to do everything from 8-hour charts this week. Yeah. And then I was just saying to a lot of the guys, what you need to do with your trading, like going forward, is be completely sort of neutral with your trades. So when you look at a chart, you can't have any thoughts that the market's going long or short. You've got to let your analysis tell you which way it's going.
Okay.
So if the price had dropped into this center area, okay, here, let me move my arrow again, sorry. Let me just draw another. So if the price now had dropped into this center area now, we know that we cannot take any trades until this price continues down into this support. Then basically on price action, it will tell us whether or not the market's going to bounce or go short. If it went short to here, I'd say it's a good bet, regardless if this price was going to break and create an even lower low, that we probably will have some form of a retracement off of this support, just because of the sheer volume we've had every time this price has been hit. Yeah?
Yeah.
So these are the sort of trades where they bounce, right, you could make 1,000 pips if you were to hold it, but it's a good thing to get yourself in a free trade relatively quick, because if you get yourself in a free trade here and it does go up, there's no risk to this trade. But what could possibly happen on this is it goes, bounces, then goes. Do you get what I mean? So at these high and low points of the market,
Yeah.
if you get yourself in a free trade and you do get stopped out, it's probably a good thing. Yeah, because the market could be doing that, ready for a breakout. You know, the little pull, the punch back.
Yeah.
And this is going forward this week. We're going to have a big week. I want everyone to have their charts looking like this. Really, really sort of structured. So we know that at the moment, we don't need any more analysis than this. Because if the market's up here, we can draw more boxes later on. And if it goes lower, we can draw more boxes. But at the moment, there's nothing really. As we go up, we could obviously look to put one at the top, or if it goes low, we haven't really got much data to go off. So it's just sort of keeping all our charts intact. I did send a British pound one out last night. I don't know if you've all looked at it. Yeah?
Yep.
And then what I was saying, Peter, as well, is a lot of people, in my eyes, I never draw sort of channels on price. So what a lot of traders do is this. They go, right, I've got a bit of a channel, yeah?
Yeah.
Going down. But what I try and do is draw my channels on basic trends. So it's a reverse way of doing it. So we can see here we've got a really nice big uptrend. Yeah?
Yeah.
Draw the trend in. And then here we can see the next uptrend. Yeah?
Yeah.
So can you see from drawing this trend and drawing this trend, we've actually got the channel in the center, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah? Can you see that?
Yeah.
So it's just giving us a bit of a wider range to draw prices. So that's all you've sort of missed in this session, I think, so far. So, right, is everybody happy with that Euro chart? Yeah?
Yep.
All look relatively all right? There's not really any big moves that we've missed a little move there, look. But it's only recent prior. I might even put just for, I'm really unsure about that zone, so I'm just going to put a blue line in. Right. I'm only putting one single one in, guys, because I'm really, really not sure if that's another zone as of yet. We could probably squeeze another zone in. Yeah, I'm gonna squeeze another zone in that. So yeah, so I know it looks. Everyone's been looking at the sort of the pound and the euro, and how can I put it? Saying that it's sort of being a bit carnage, but when you actually do a bigger time frame sort of style analysis, it don't actually look too bad, does it? Do you know what I mean? It don't actually look very bad. Yeah? Right, so what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to send you all that chart. Yeah. So I'm just going to save this now. Save chart layout. Send you this chart. So that's our little chart we've analysed. And what we're going to do, it might be completely different to the pound chart I sent you, but we might do the British pound again now anyway. So we're just going to go through the British pound just quickly. Right. What I'm going to do, if you want to write that down quick, guys.